Hello friends, welcome to This American Girl Reads. My name is Kirsten, and if you can't tell, I have two very large boxes to unbox here, full of some of the new historical releases from American Girl. I am very excited to have been able to purchase these. I'm very excited that American Girl made some more historical things, and I have a lot to get into, so let's just dive in, okay? All right, so I think the format I'm going to use for this is that I'm going to first show you everything that I got in the smaller box. I will pull everything out, I will show you everything that's in this box, and then I will unbox it for you, show you what's all included, give you my thoughts on it, my initial impression. And then I'll open the things that are in the larger box. It's not much, don't be too excited. And then finally, if there's any outfits among these, I will put them on the dolls. I already said it's historical release stuff. You can probably guess what's in here. But let's go ahead and dive in. So, sorry, I don't know how to get an angle where you can actually see this too, because I don't have a table in here. I just have this little rickety stool, and that's what we're gonna work with. So, opening up the box, it has the wonderful biodegradable peanuts, so full. And the very first thing on top is Nanea's care kit. So this is her first aid kit that comes with what, well, is considered the accessories for her her new volunteer outfit. So that's the first thing. And then rummaging through, don't you, like, there's something very satisfying about these biodegradable peanuts. I mean, peanuts in general, like, I hate them. Nobody enjoys peanuts. But there is something a little satisfying about putting your hand in a box and just... That's the stuff. All right, sorry. I'm very tired. All right, so then I got Nanea's volunteer outfit. Because of course I did, because Nanea getting new things is very exciting. More exciting for me personally. Melody got a new outfit. This is Melody's salon outfit. Very, very, very excited about this one. Like, about screamed when I saw that Melody got stuff. Then I got Mary Ellen's 2-in-1 outfit. And if you are familiar at all with my collection, this might be curious to you because I do not have Mary Ellen. My mother has Mary Ellen, and so I have never felt the need to add a Mary Ellen into my collection since, you know, my mom's collection is one that I can occasionally have access to. But I have plans for this outside of Mary Ellen. And then the last thing I got is not historical at all, but I've been wanting it for a little bit and wanted to grab it since I could. And that is Summer's, what is this? Stars and Snuggles pajamas. I don't have Summer, this year's Girl of the Year. I have no interest in this year's Girl of the Year. No offense to, you know, those of you who love her. I'm sure she's great. She's just not for me. I don't really collect the Gaudis. However, I do have a character in my little world who I knew when I saw these, I was like, oh, those are so Elena. These are my very Elena coded. Elena is my number 43. And so I had to get these because I've been kind of thinking about a sleepover scene for some of my dolls. You can see that Ramona over here, oh gosh, this is so hard to do. I don't know how people do this. Ramona over here is actually still in the Maple Lee raccoon pajama set. Elena's right next to her, and this will be her pajama set. So I've been kind of planning a sleepover scene for all of them. So I had to get her the pajamas that I've always seen for her. So that's everything in the first box. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the camera and I'm going to start I will unbox on camera each individual set. Cool? All right, so we're going to start with Mary Ellen's 2-in-1, since this is the one where I don't have the historical doll that it technically belongs to. So when you first open the box, you have your tissue paper. And then when you go ahead and pull it aside, you can first see the main body of the outfit. So pulling this out, let's give you a nice closer look. This is the romper outfit, which again is the core piece of it here. Buttons down the front. Oh, these are real buttons. These are actual real buttons. They actually do unbutton. This is not Velcro or anything like that. These are real buttons. These are practical buttons. That's both a blessing and a curse for someone like me. I know that some people really hate Velcro because it can snag on things and things like that. But for someone like me whose hands are not always in the best condition, buttons can be really difficult. I can also imagine that for really young kids who maybe don't have the dexterity yet, that this could also be really frustrating. But I do appreciate the look and feel that real buttons give to a piece. So that's kind of a nifty discovery that these are real buttons. And then you can see it has the new AG tag here. I probably unpopular opinion, but I actually really liked the clear tag because for me, I didn't notice it 90% of the time. So I always liked that. And then underneath the main body piece is the skirt itself. Let's see, how's that looking on the camera? Not bad. Not bad. All right, and these buttons are fake. These are fake buttons down the front. So you won't be able to, let me double check that. Yes, yes, they are indeed fake buttons. So there's no way that you can do like a little like half unbuttoned, half not. So instead there is Velcro in the back for getting it around your doll's waist. And then probably my favorite part of this outfit, if I'm being honest, these shoes are so cute. They are made of like a canvas kind of material. Pointy-toed. These are just tied shut. I mean, yeah, these are sewn, tied shut, so you can't really risk undoing the laces and losing some of the cute factor. I think these are adorable. I'm not a big fan of pink in general, but I love the style of these. I just think that they're kind of adorable. And then let's see what else. We have a belt to go around the waist. Let's see if I can get this off semi-easily on camera. Semi-easily. I didn't say it was going to be pretty. I said it was going to be semi-easy. So throw that over there. All right, so here's the belt. This is a fake front. There's actually Velcro here on the back. So you don't have to worry about like sliding a small strap into this to try and get it right. Again, mixed bag there, I think, for a lot of people, but I really like that because then it means I don't have to fiddle around with trying to like get something through a tiny little hole that I can barely see. It's nice for people who are older or have dexterity issues like myself. Then we have, this should open pretty easily, one of my least favorite type of ribbons. This is just a nice little pre-tied bow. Love that, but it comes on one of these like elastics, and I don't love that. I like it when I love pre-tied bows. Don't get me wrong, I love pre-tied bows. Again, like if you can't tie bows really well, or if tying tiny knots is difficult for you, these are wonderful. But elastics, like it's so hard to get these to lay right on a doll's hair, especially if you're not good at that sort of thing. I like it when they come on little, you know, like little clips that you can slide in there and be done. That's my preference, but it's still very cute. And then there is a little pamphlet that has some stuff about Mary Ellen and her collection. You can pause if you really want to look at it closely. And then I know I've been seeing a lot of fear and doom and gloom. I don't know if it's true or not, but there's this list here that's like, you know, here's Collect Mary Ellen's World. And there are people who are saying that this list is kind of like the harbinger of what they're retiring. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying it isn't. But if there are things that you want for Mary Ellen that aren't on this list, you may want to consider grabbing them if you're able, just because there are folks who seem to think that this means that certain items are not going to be around for much longer. So do with that what you will. All right, next up we have Nanea's volunteer outfit. As noted, I will be showing these on dolls afterwards. I just want to get them all unboxed first. So open the box. Nice tissue paper, and underneath what we see is first her jumper. so pulling that out. All right, here is her jumper. It's a very nice floral print, very bright green with pink flowers on it. There is Velcro right here on the side, just on the one side to help you get it on the doll. And yes, again, okay, like I have mixed feelings about this, but I do generally like the concept. These right here are practical buttons, so you can undo this. Again, like you can see why I have mixed feelings. But you could undo the strap to make it a little easier to get on and off your doll, which I imagine is nice because that one little piece of Velcro is not going to necessarily make it super easy to wiggle on your doll, but if you can also take the straps off, it gives you a little more breathing room. So there's that. Very, very cute. And then honestly, I'm so geeked about this. Just a simple white button-down blouse. So simple. I recognize it's simple, but I am definitely part of AG Give Us Basics. I'm on that team, and these are also practical real buttons, so no Velcro here. So this is a nice timeless piece that you can use on modern dolls, historical dolls. You know, it really fits in across. And see, this is why I kind of preferred the clear tag, was because it wasn't super obvious on clothes, whereas this is like, hello, I'm here, I am AG brand. And I could use a seam ripper to take it off if I really wanted to, but I'm a lazy creature. That's not happening. Very simple black Mary Janes. Interesting, the soles are not white. They're kind of more of a tan. I don't see that very often. They often use white insides so that they don't risk staining. The inside of the black isn't still white, so it shouldn't cause staining. It's just interesting that they went for a tan. But again, these are nice and simple. I'm sure some people are like, oh, we've had 1,000 black Mary Janes out there. And you're not wrong, but for Nanea's collection, this is actually somewhat unique because Nanea's collection is full of a lot of sandals and beachwear, which, you know, Pearl Harbor, I get it, but simple black flats are also something that she would have had. And then we have her little necktie right here, also Velcro right here. Should I bother getting these out? Yeah, I'll go ahead and get them out. I'll be a proper unboxer for once. Just some little simple white socks, little ankle socks, and then the final piece in this is a white plastic barrette in the shape of a bow. Oh, influencer hand, influencer hand. They've done these kind of plastic barrettes in Nanea's collection before. I honestly don't know enough about 40s fashion to know if plastic barrettes were common for girls of the time, or if this is just them being like, we can't afford a satin ribbon. I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know. I just don't know enough about 40s fashion. And then finally, the pamphlet, which I will open up for you, should you care to read it. There's also a side one here. And then finally that Collect Nanea's Whole World, which, again, if you see something on American Girl's website that you're interested in for Nanea and it's not on the list, maybe that's something you should bump up. Just saying. Rather than move on to the next outfit, I figured I would show off Nanea's care accessories, her care kit next. So popping this right on open. All right. We have about 1,000 little plastic baggies to open, so depending on how this goes, I might pause. So the first thing here is a plastic bag with more plastic bags inside of it. I hate the plastic bags. They drive me nuts. But we have her first aid little booklet here. And when you open it up, it does have like what supplies you should have and how do you bandage and how do you stabilize. So, you know, some decent stuff in here, little notes section. And then opening up some more of these tiny little plastic baggies. We have some scissors influencer hand. These are made of plastic. It's pretty lightweight. I can see a kid who's not being careful with these breaking them pretty darn fast. I, however, am not a child, so I should be pretty well set. There is a small metal piece. You can kind of see it reflecting right now. That's where the hinge is to kind of like help it. So that's kind of nice, but some nice scissors. And then under here, oh, I feel bad for all you parents out there who might be getting this for small children. We have these itty bitty tweezers. Itty bitty tweezers. They are very cute. They're very cute, but this is the kind of thing that a child who, I mean, even a responsible child could risk losing these. They're just so small. They're cute, but they're very small. Next up, we have 2 little ace bandages. They actually have Velcro on them so that they can attach. I'm trying to remember, I had the first aid kit that came with the backpacking set from like 1998, and I cannot remember if my ace bandage with that set had Velcro or not. I genuinely can't remember, and I'm not going to go dig it out right now to figure it out. And then I'm not going to open this because I'm probably never going to use these, but little bandages, like Band-Aids kind of bandages. Then, well, I probably will have to open them now that I say that, because the next thing up is the adhesive bandage tin. I say tin, it is made out of plastic. The nice pop top. It says on the front, American Girl, adhesive bandages, etc. I know that some people have been disappointed that this is made of plastic because in the 1940s, this probably would have been an actual tin, a metal tin. But to be honest, given the economics of 2025 so far, I can work with plastic. Because that meant that this set was only $40 and not whatever more it would have been. Don't love that. Yes, would it be nice to go back to tin? The other thing is, this is something that I have done no research on. But I also wonder, the laws of what is allowed to be children's toys, like the materials of children's toys, has changed so much from 1986 and early Pleasant Company, that there's also a part of me that just wonders, like, if there's rules about what can be made of metal and what can't be. Like, that's something that would be interesting to research at some point, so that when we say that, why is it plastic, that we're not accidentally saying, why is it plastic, when legally it needs to be. Like, again, I don't know. Maybe there are no laws about that. Maybe nobody cares. But it is something that I am curious about. Not curious enough to have actually done any research about it yet, though. Next, I'm going to open the little satchel bag. Oh, the tape on this is a lot stickier. Okay. All right. Very nice little pleather, definitely pleather bag here. It has a good feeling to it. Velcro here on the front to open, and just empty inside, little tag, kind of a tannish inside. And then, of course, you can probably see, the design there on the front that's embossed in, and the strap, not terribly long. It's not going to be a crossbody bag for sure, but it is very cute, and it has a good feeling to it, like for something that's supposed to be like replicating a leather bag. It does a decent job of it. Let's see. I'll save the piece that I'm most excited about for last. So next we'll do the stethoscope. So here's your stethoscope. Again, no metal on this, all plastic. And again, this is really flimsy plastic. This is gonna get bent by a child pretty quickly if they're not really a very careful and particular child. But this is a nice flexible tube, rubber tube. I think it's very cute. I don't have any of like the previous doctor's kits or other kits where I would have gotten a stethoscope. This will be my first one, so very cute. I think it's adorable. And then the piece I'm most excited about is the flashlight. And I am excited about this because it is a very, very good replica of a 1940s flashlight from what I've seen from some adverts of the time. And I love a good historical replica of something. It is plastic. It is plastic. If you were hoping for metal, you're going to be disappointed. And then let's see what happens when I pull out this little tab here in the back. Aha! I can shine a light on you. So yeah, just a little button here. Very cute. Huge, probably for a doll. Yeah, pretty big. But we all know American Girl's scale is kind of all over the place. Like, we're looking for, you know, something cute, not necessarily something perfectly to scale, because nothing ever is. And actually, can I tell you a quick story? I'm going to totally disrupt this. So I actually got, last year sometime, a playset that was like a stove and a sink, kind of like a kitchen playset for dolls. And it was from an off-brand company. I don't remember what the company's name was. And they actually did everything to scale. Like they said, an 18-inch doll is to a 9-year-old child. You know, an 18-inch doll height is to a 9-year-old child's average height, and therefore all pieces should be this size. And so it was perfectly to scale for if an 18-inch doll were considered a 9 or 10-year-old. And it was the weirdest frickin' thing. I ended up giving the set to my goddaughters because it was just, it looked weird. Like the doll, it didn't look like the dolls could actually use anything. Like when I put them in to do like photos, I had to go and find things to be like stools for the dolls to use. And like, that's wonderful because it was perfectly to scale, but I am so used to American Girl, which is like, scale is, you know, we still want it to be, you know, something your dolls could theoretically use, and therefore like the scale's all over the place. And so seeing something that was actually to scale was so jarring that I had to give it away to my, how old are they? Like my 7-year-old goddaughters, because I was like, they're not going to know any better. They're not huge into dolls. At least they weren't at the time. So I was like, they can have it. Happy birthday, goddaughters. Enjoy. So I actually don't necessarily mind that AG's scale is kind of wonky, because sometimes I think they do it just to make things more fun and more interactive for children who are playing with their dolls. Anyway, so that's Nanea's care kit. Time for a brief interlude from the historical items, because I am obviously saving Melody's outfit for last because I am clearly the most excited about it. So I'm going to open up Summer's pajamas, but I'm going to do this one really, really fast because a lot of people have already seen it. They're already familiar with it. You don't need to see it up close. Oh, this is soft. Okay, dang, I gotta say, this is real soft. If you have a child who likes really soft things, or if you're a sensory seeker, this is really soft. Ooh, this is gonna make any doll that you put this in an automatic snuggle doll. Wow. I can't remember the last time I've touched something this soft. And then just two pair of slippers with some little faces on them. I think they're supposed to be puppies. I don't know. I don't know anything about Summer's story. So my review of this is very soft. So if you're looking to have a snuggle doll, maybe consider getting this, because wow. All right, then finally for this box, at least, because I still have the other box, I have Melody's salon outfit. So I'm super geeked about all of Melody's stuff because salon culture is really, really important in Detroit, and from my understanding in general, the Black community. And so, I believe, Melody has a cousin in her books who owns a salon, and so it's also an important part of Melody's story. And so the fact that she gets some salon stuff is really nice. Okay, so first we have this cowl neck sweater in a color block print. I have seen someone on AGIG post an advert for a sweater in the 1960s that looked basically exactly like this. So this is literally a, torn from history kind of thing. I'm not sure what to make of the material, and not in a bad way, just I can't immediately identify what this material is. It's heavier, but it's not like it's a wool. So I'm sure they say on the website if you look into the, you know, specifications. So, but I'm not going to look it up. I'm tired. But yeah, this is the sweater. I think it's lovely, very thick. Again, this tag is kind of killing me a little bit. But yeah, I really love the colors on this. I know somebody said something about this being like a really pink outfit because of the pedal pushers. But honestly, this sweater for me reads more blue. It just does. So I'm good with it, even though I don't like pink. And then we have her pants, which I just called pedal pushers. I don't know if they technically would be, but they're definitely cropped pants. They are not full length pants. They come down to around her ankles. So these are very simple, just a simple basic cotton. It looks like they're a little higher in the back to hopefully, you know, actually cover her butt. We'll see. Again, like AG's shoe game on this release was pretty strong because these are some really cute shoes with like braided rope around the edges here. A little nautical, so if you're someone who has some of the nautical pieces, this might be a good addition to your nautical themes. And then we have her, oh dear, her headband. So here is her headband. Again, my knowledge of 1960s fashion, I don't even think it could fill a Post-it note, if I'm being honest. I really, like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, not really eras that I'm familiar with fashion-wise. But I do believe like these hard plastic hairbands were definitely a thing. I know they were in the 90s because I remember them and I hated wearing them. Which is why I still don't wear hairbands. I am going to be interested to see how this goes onto Melody's head though, because it does have give. Like it does have give. But I would imagine that if you're not careful, you would scratch your doll up. And then finally, her pamphlet. Here's all the stuff on it so that you can pause and read if you'd like. And then here's the collect, let me get my fingers out of the way. Here's the collect her whole world. So that if there's anything that you've been having your eye on that isn't on this list, although does Melody even have much left? To be honest, like I feel like Melody has very little left available, which freaking shame because Melody. All right, I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna get the big box. And then I'll do the exact same thing. I'll show it to you, what I ordered in there, what I got in there, and then we will do the final show off of the dolls in the outfits with the other pieces. All right, so the first thing I got from this final box that I had here was I got the new like ringer shirt. Anyway, I got the new, you know, fan shirt for adults because clearly I am their target audience. I think the only thing I don't have of their like clothes that they've made for adults yet is their sweatpants. So had to get this. But for the sake of what's more exciting for this video, I am very excited about this because I was not expecting to be able to get this for a couple more months. I got the salon chair. I am so excited about this. You have no idea. When we saw the stuff come out online, because it got put out in the stores a little bit earlier, and some really wonderful AGIGers went to the store and took photos and shared it with us, I knew immediately that I just had to have the salon chair. I would not say that I don't even know if this would be considered a big ticket item. I think it's currently the biggest ticket item Melody actually really has in her collection. But I'm not really someone who has a lot of big ticket items. It's not really where my focus lies. I do like to have furniture and things to set scenes, like in my dollhouse, which I still haven't shown you. And like when I set things up around the house using backdrops and everything. But I just had to have the salon chair. Melody's one of my favorite historical characters. She's a singer. She's from Detroit, which is where I'm from. It was just, I had to have her. I had to have Melody when I discovered her. And then I've been really working hard to get I wouldn't say all of her collection. I'm not I would say of all the dolls, it would be a dream to collect all of Addie's collection. Rebecca's collection, I think, is actually more attainable, and so Rebecca's collection is one that I actually would like to fully collect someday. But Melody's is definitely in the top 5 for me. And so now, with the salon chair, I have another nice large piece for her. I have her piano. Can you actually see it? Yeah, you can kind of see it down there. I have her piano. I have her microphone set. I don't have the actual studio or anything. Again, that's an example of a big ticket item that I'm just not particularly drawn to because there's not a lot of versatile uses to it. So I never was really interested in that. But if I could someday like get her bed, and I have her block parties set, but I don't have her block party table and chairs. So like those are things that I would happily add because there's yeah, they're specific for Melody, but some of them can be used in other contexts. Same with the salon chair. Although this is an example of something that I probably wouldn't give to another doll because, again, it's the cultural context of salon culture in Detroit that's really, really important here. So I'm going to stop talking and go ahead and get this unboxed. All right, so I have this open now, and so the first thing is all of like the paper ephemera aspects, so the magazines, her pamphlet, and then the instructions for what to do with the chair, which I'm just going to set aside for right now. We have in here the magazine holder, which I will go ahead and get this out. All right, so here's the magazine holder. Again, very simple plastic, and then this is also plastic. So this isn't a piece of cloth that's gonna get ripped up and torn away. It can come off. Yeah, both sides it can come off, but you can just pop it right back on there. So that's the magazine holder, the magazine rack. And then next up, we have the dome and the curlers and the hot comb. Okay, dropping everything for the hot comb. Come to me. So here is the little hot comb. This is adorable, and also most people would know the hot comb as somewhat of a torture device. It's solid in between the comb, in between the comb teeth. So there's that. Again, made of plastic. Your feelings on that will vary. And then the actual the plastic in this is probably like driving you up a wall as I rattle it. All right, very nice dome piece that will go on the top. Which, again, I will assemble this all, not on video because no one needs that. More of the curlers, or actually these are the original curlers that I was showing off. I just said drop them back in. All right, cardboard. And then the neck piece. Then comes like this. Some nice honeycombing to protect. This could be used for a doll craft. Getting rid of the plastic, we have the chair itself. So this, again, all plastic, but nice cushion, vinyl, like a vinyl-y kind of cushion, which, again, what do I know about the 60s? Could be accurate, could be not. I don't know. Feels probably pretty accurate. I feel like when I occasionally get a haircut here and there, a lot of the chairs are still made of a, not in terms of a pattern, but they have like a similar texture and feel to it. So here's the chair. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to get it assembled, and I actually remember to grab batteries. Almost all of my AG items that, you know, have sound options don't actually work because I've never bothered to put batteries in them, but I did remember to bring batteries for this. So let me get this assembled and then I will come back on and show it to you. All right, we are not going to talk about the adventure that I just went on to find an itty bitty little screwdriver, because this was the size of screwdriver that I actually needed, and this is not the kind of screwdriver that either me or my partner have in easy supply. But it doesn't matter. It's all together now. So these parts went together pretty easily. This is just something that snaps in and then this pops in. You know, the only difficult part about it is, you know, it's plastic, so you end up worrying a little bit that you're going to push too hard and snap the plastic, or at least that's a worry I have. I don't know why. It's not like I'm, you know, a great big strong person, but it's still something that I do worry about. But it raises and lowers just a little bit, not a huge amount. And then this part, you just pull it out, push it in. You can set where you want it to go. And that's, yes, you can see here's where the vanity tag is. Nice and big and obvious. That's how that works. And then the sound, here's the tiny little screw that I hate and now have mortal loathing for. But then there's a volume control. You can like turn the sound fully off and then just a little bit loud and then really loud. And then there's two buttons, one for music and one for sound effects. So I'm going to go ahead and turn up the volume to loud so that you can hear the different sounds. So we're going to start with the music, which I'm not going to play for long because I have no idea if these are copyright protected. I know that one of them is Lift Every Voice and Sing, but I don't know what the other two are. So that's the first one. That's Lift Every Voice and Sing. And that's the other one. And then on the sound effects side, so there's three musics, and then on the sound effects side we have
Welcome to Tish's Touch of Beauty Salon.
I've never had my hair done at a salon before. I feel so fancy.
Put your feet up and relax. This hairstyle suits you.
Could you turn up the radio? This is my favorite song. This hair dryer looks like a helmet.
Would you like to read a magazine while you wait?
All right, so there's 7 sound effects and 3 songs for 10 total sounds that are possible with this salon chair. And I love it. I really do. I know it's plastic. I saw someone else who was disappointed about how many screws are visible, and yeah, sure. But frankly, I'm going to have a doll sitting in front of this. You're not necessarily going to see these screws, so I'm not terribly worried about it. I'm just excited to have. It's so cool. It's so cool. Oh, very, very worth it. This, like I said, I was only expecting to get this like in another month or two. But then, you know, Mattel announced that they're going to have to raise their prices because of tariffs. And various other things have happened even since that happened, with Mattel apparently being thought of as a country. Like, I don't know, guys. But I was talking to my partner one night that I was really worried that with prices raising, that maybe this would be a piece that I wasn't going to be able to get after all. And he knew how much I wanted it. So he was like, just get it. Just get it. We'll figure it out. And so I will probably not be getting much in the next couple of months to help offset the cost of getting this today. But I am so happy. Oh, I'm going to turn that sound off. Very happy to have this. Very happy to add this to my collection. So excited to get some great photos with this. So now, well, that's big enough that's like in the shot. Now that I've shown off everything that I did purchase, I'm going to go ahead and put my dolls into the new clothes so that you can see them and so that we can wrap this thing up. All right, I've gotten basically everyone dressed. I'm not going to put Elena into the pair of PJs that I got because I have something different planned for those at this time. In theory, I'll probably make that video, but I have a plan. I have a plan for that. So I'm just going to show you the historical release items because those were the new releases, and I think those are the things that people are probably most excited about. I will pause here though and say, I had put up a poll in the community tab to say like, hey, what part of the new releases are you the most excited about? And the majority of people were the most excited about the re-releases of the Addie School outfit, the Kirsten school outfit, and then Samantha's birthday outfit. And I'm sorry I don't have those to show you today. I'm not going to be getting any of the re-releases because I already own all 3 of those outfits and complete. So I don't, there's nothing about them that where I need to get them. Part of me feels really sad about that because I really like to support American Girl when they're putting out things that I care about, and that is primarily the historicals. You know, there's lots of Etsy sellers out there. There's lots of other groups that are making doll outfits that I can put on my more modern dolls and have a really nice wardrobe choice. Whereas a lot of the stuff that they make for their modern dolls is not stuff that I particularly want to put my dolls in. They have their hits. Don't get me wrong. They definitely have their things that they've done in recent years that I am very, very fond of, and have, you know, bought pretty quickly because I liked it so much. But for the most part, when I buy from American Girl these days, I'm buying historical, and that means I'm not buying a lot of American Girl these days. So when they do put out things for the historicals, I really try to support that by buying it whenever possible. But I don't like to buy things that I already have. And so I'm not going to be buying any of the re-releases, so I won't be able to show them to you. I'm most curious about Addie's school outfit because it is my absolute favorite. That is top 5 Addie outfits for me. Top 5 for sure. And I would be curious to see the difference between the re-release and the original PC version, because I have the original PC version in all of its woolly glory. But I would be curious to see what the material feel is and like the difference in the patterns and things like that. But I'm not going to spend $55 on that kind of experiment. So hopefully there will be some other folks out there who are going to show off the differences between the two, so that you can make a decision about if you want to pursue the re-release, if you want to spend a pretty penny on the secondhand market. I'm just glad they are doing things like this so that people don't have to spend outrageous prices on the secondhand market. I just kind of wish that they would do this more with historical outfits that are harder to find. Addie's being the exception in this one because Addie's outfits are generally harder to find for a decent price, but Kirsten's outfit and Samantha's outfit, both of those I found when I like last year before for really reasonable prices. I would be more interested in finding some of the ones where you're like, oh, I'm not paying $200 for, you know, an item of doll clothing. No, thank you. With that being said, let me go ahead and show you then the new historical items and what I think about them. And we'll go in the reverse order of what I opened up. So we'll start actually with Melody. So Melody is here, and she is wearing this lovely cowl neck sweater with these little, again, I don't know if they're pedal pushers, cropped pants. I don't know what the technical term is for them technically, but they're very cute with these adorable shoes. And yes, this headband is dangerous. Be careful when you put it on your dolls. It can very easily snap forward and drag along their vinyl of their faces. So definitely try and get it behind their ears, so that it's a little more secure, because it is hard plastic and it will damage your dolls if you're not careful. But this is really lovely. I had mentioned that Melody's pants were higher in the back when I pulled them out of the box. I actually don't know if that's true, because I actually don't know if the Velcro is supposed to be in the front or in the back. I opted to put it in the back so that they're higher in the back, and it seems to fit okay. Like, nothing is looking super wonky here. That's probably wrong. Usually the Velcro's in the front, but there was nothing that really like demanded it. And the tag is in this side over here. So I'm gonna say I did it right. And so it does cover her butt. Another one of my friends had noticed that getting these fastened around her is tight. You do have to squeeze it a little bit. So that is something to know, but they look really cute. They're, you know, are they see-through at all? No, they're not really see-through. Somebody had mentioned concerns about them being see-through. They're not really see-through, maybe like vaguely, but not like some of the white fabrics that you see on American Girl dolls where, you know, you can just see everything. But yeah, this is Melody's salon outfit. I think it's adorable. I think it's precious. I think it looks great on Melody. I'm just happy they're adding stuff to Melody's collection. Melody's been neglected for quite a while, and so I'm just excited. I will be getting her salon accessories at some point. Since I have the salon chair and I have her salon outfit, it makes sense to get her salon accessories as well. I just did kind of a cost analysis and was like, well, if the prices go up on American Girl stuff, which they will, the price increase on the salon accessories is probably still going to be closer to what I can afford than if it had gone up on the salon chair. So that was kind of the decision I made. So I'll be getting them in the next couple of months at some point, but I don't have them right now, but that's okay because I have her outfit and I have her chair and she looks great. So that's Melody. All right, next, moving backwards, we have Nanea here in her volunteer outfit with some of her volunteer accessories. I didn't grab all of her care kit accessories, sorry. I didn't grab all of them just because I'm tired and I want to go lay down. But here is this outfit with her stethoscope and her nice little bag. I think this is precious on her. She looks so, so cute. Again, I love when we have these little blouses because they make it very easy to use them for other dolls. I already know that I'll be putting this at some point on my number 58 because my number 58 wears white shirts like this all the time. And I don't have that many of them. So I know this will go on my 58 at some point. This jumper is very precious. It looks great on her. I heard some people say that it was loose on their doll. I've heard other people say it's really tight on their doll. Mine is perfect. So that might just be factory variations. But yeah, it also could be like I used the Velcro and I did, undo the buttons in the back to put it on. And maybe some people hadn't noticed one or other of those that made it difficult. I don't know. I just know that it looks great on my doll. It's not too tight. It's not too wide. Like I can get a finger in there if I want, but like I have to push it in rather than be like, oh look, my finger's just rattling around in there. So I think it looks good on her. The barrette, not amazing, but she has a lot of these kind of barrettes that are like, it's fine. Again, I should probably look up at some point if this is like historically accurate. I know, again, I remember these barrettes from the 90s. I don't know if it's so true for the 40s, but I think she looks really good. Shoes are really cute, very simple again, but Nanea doesn't have a lot of these simple shoes. So if you're someone who only collects Nanea, or if you only let your dolls dress from items from their particular collection, these are the first kind of shoes that Nanea is going to really have along these lines, and I think that's really cool. So very cute, very precious. I think she looks great. I'm going to have to take her out and get photos of her, and Melody too. Like all of these are my next photo sets for sure. Very cute. Love it. All right, and then finally we have Mary Ellen's 2-in-1 outfit, which, as I said, I don't have Mary Ellen. I know that my mother has Mary Ellen, and I know that my mother got Mary Ellen's 2-in-1 outfit for her doll, but I wanted it as well because I thought it was very cute, and I think it looks really lovely on my Simone, who is a customized pink Stardust holiday doll. I got it for Simone in particular because Simone is a doll in my collection who likes to dress in vintage styles. She likes to go thrifting. She likes dressing in vintage styles. She likes to sew her own clothes based off of vintage styles. And so I just thought this would be perfect for her. And I was right. She looks amazing in this. Put this on your dark skin dolls. Like, yes, let Mary Ellen have her turn. Let your other dolls, have their turn. But like, definitely try putting this on a dark skin doll because she looks phenomenal. I did put the bow in. I hated every minute of it, but I did put it in. I think it does add a little something to the back of her hair. And yes, these shoes are amazing. I think they are definitely, I've been kind of idly like tossing around like, what would my top 10 shoes be? Because I do have a lot of doll shoes. What would my top 10 be? And I think they could be in the top 10 ranking, if I'm being honest. I just think the style is so cute. And I'm not gonna do the 2-in-1 part like it's a romper. Like you can see that. I think that for Simone in particular, the skirt set is a better look on her. So Simone wearing Mary Ellen's 2-in-1 outfit. It's really cute. All right, let me put her down and then we'll wrap this one up. All right, that is everything that I got from the new historical release. Like I said, I really care about trying to support the historical line whenever possible. Based on what they did with the re-releases, like they did a re-release in the American Girls collection last year around this time, and that's when they also gave out the new outfits for Julie, and who else got a new outfit around that time? Was it just Julie? Because she got the re-release of her flower jumpsuit outfit, and then also the new roller skating outfit. But I feel like one of the other historicals got a release around then as well. And then this year we had a new addition to the American Girls collection, and then 3 new outfits for the Be Forever girls, because Mary Ellen, Melody, and Nanea were all 3 Be Forever specific dolls. They came out in the Be Forever line and were Be Forever. They were never historical dolls in the past. They were always Be Forever. Now they're historical again because now we got rid of Be Forever. So it's interesting to me to kind of see that, and it does make me wonder if we're going to see either what I would personally love to see is, okay, we had a spring release for the Be Forever girls, and maybe we do a fall release for Claudie, please, and the 90s twins, because those 2 have not gotten anything in a while. So it would be interesting to see what kind of pattern they're developing here, because I do feel like we're beginning to see a pattern in how they are doing historical releases in particular. We used to know that there was a pattern with the Gotti, and that, you know, they would come out with their collection at the beginning of the year, and then during the summer they would get a secondary release. That seems to be gone now. Lila didn't get a second release, and I can't remember, and Summer hasn't had a second release because they came out early. So I think that we might be done with that Gotti pattern, but we might be seeing a new historical pattern develop. And then the non-specific things, the truly me kind of stuff, I don't know what's going on with that. Like, that is, I have not tried to even figure out a pattern with that, because that just seems to be all over the place. Couldn't predict it, and generally speaking, when they do come out with stuff, I look at it and go, ugh. Glad it's someone's taste, but it's not mine. So I'm excited about the historical releases. I wanted to buy pretty much all of it. I will definitely be getting Melody's salon accessories at some point. I really like Mary Ellen's stove. I think it's very cool, but I don't really see a place for it in my collection. I mean, part of me is like, I want it because it's cool and it's historical and I want to support it, but also I don't have Mary Ellen, and I have a kitchen set. I have Blair's kitchen set, not the full thing, but just like the 2 countertops. So I have some stuff like that for my modern girls. And so I just don't see where a historical stove would fit in. So I'm probably not going to end up getting Mary Ellen's stove. It's so cool. I would definitely, if space and money were like no object, I would be getting Mary Ellen's stove. But realistically, I think that's probably not going to happen with me. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about the historical re-release and the new release. I really like the new release. I think it's really good. Is it perfect? No, it's not. I mean, I don't think we're currently in an age where perfection is going to happen. First of all, because perfection is very much in the eye of the beholder. What's perfect to one person is not perfect to another. So, like, where's the goalpost here? But also just because the economy is doing weird things. The economy is doing weird things, and American Girl is part of Mattel, which is a publicly traded company, and that has impacts. That means something. I won't tell you how you should feel about that. Personally, publicly traded companies have some serious cons to them, especially given the history of American Girl. But I am so curious. I'm going to delve into politics for like 2 seconds, and then we'll be done. I promise. I'm going to delve into politics for 2 seconds, though, because I am so curious about what's going on in American Girl right now. Because last year, in 2024, we got on their website, on their Instagram, basically no acknowledgement of Black History Month, basically no acknowledgement of any Heritage Month, like nothing. Like maybe one post, but nothing else. But this year, in 2025, as we're seeing attacks on DEI, and we know that Mattel has certainly been like, okay. At the same time, American Girl did a lot more for Black History Month than I had seen yet. I'm relatively new. I only started collecting in 2021, but this February was the most I've ever seen in Black History Month. Like, I saved the graphics on my phone that they made because I thought that they were really interesting and cool, and I was showing them some of my colleagues, and they thought they were really cool. And then right now, when I'm recording this, it's AAPI month, Asian American Pacific Islander month, and American Girl has been doing stuff around Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. They have a whole section on their website about it, and they've been doing stuff on their social media to spotlight their AANHPI dolls, which is not something I would have expected at this time. Because again, we know Mattel, the parent company, is just like, ho hum, okay. And yet American Girl has not been. So I'm not saying, I have no idea what this means. I'm not saying it means anything, but it is curious. It is something I am certainly curious about. It doesn't really connect into the historical releases and re-releases in any way, shape, or form, but it is something that I think about because I'm on the website a lot, because the releases came out and I had to stare at them obsessively. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching this. I hope you got a sense of all the different pieces and what they come with and what they look like and what they feel like. I will certainly be taking pictures here in the coming days and weeks of these pieces and putting it up on my Instagram, which is at kirstenp.ag, if you want to follow me over there. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please like, comment, and subscribe should you so desire, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!